All right, thanks everybody for coming tonight. We will call the meeting to order. And can I get a motion to adopt the agenda?
I move to adopt the agenda.
All right, and second. All right, all in favor? January minutes. Can I get a motion to approve the January minutes?
I move to adopt the January minutes.
And a second?
I second.
All right. Anybody have any questions or comments, corrections?
They were some of the finest minutes.
If there are none, can we all in favor of approving the minutes? Right, move on to the director's report. Mostly people are interested in this meeting. Right, she can see what's going on.
So I have kind of overbooked for this upcoming month for programs that are coming up, but it's just going to be a busy March. We're going to continue on with Craft Circle, Baby Cafe, Teen Night, Lego Club. We're doing the PJ Story Time. Sadie has started to do that, so we're going to be doing another one on this upcoming, so what is that, the 24th, and then we'll be doing another one in March. We're going to try and do it the fourth Friday of every month and see how we can get any families to come. I have the Lunar New Year program, which is usually a big program for this for the year, coming up as well. So if anyone wants to join us, that's going to be a lot of fun and get Chinese food and play games. Tech Help Trivia Nights coming up. The homeschool series we're doing in March is going to be the Rensselaer County Sheriff's Department coming, and they're going to talk about the dangers of vaping. I know a lot of the kids are probably a little bit too little to talk about that, but I guess the sooner they talk about it, the better. Dungeons and Dragons has finally taken off. We have a group of 5 kids who are coming every day or every other Thursday, and they're loving it. Having a good time. On March 14th, I'm having episodes of Main Street, A History of Stephentown by Pat Flint. So she's going to be coming here, and I'm hoping we'll get a decent turnout for that. So I'm going to advertise that everywhere. Stories, she's got a whole slideshow with old pictures, and should be really fun. We're going to be doing Drawing Celtic Knots on the 18th. We're going to do PJ Family Bingo on the 27th, and we have rescheduled Rhonda's Reptiles for the 28th, and the Stephentown Easter Party and Egg Hunt is on April. So put that in your minds. If you look at
the hall for that already,
we don't need to do the hall.
Oh, right.
We do that here. I just have to actually get in touch with the school, make sure we can use their grounds.
Are we doing a Friday rain date?
We hadn't really talked about that. Did we talk about that? We didn't talk about it. We might be able to do a Friday rain date. Just see what that's Good Friday. But school is in session on that one, so we're gonna have to talk about that one. Yeah. Although maybe they have that day off. I could be wrong.
Okay. We have that off.
Do we?
Okay. The beginning of spring break.
Okay. For some reason, I've written in my calendar that I've got break starting the 7th, so I'll look into that a little bit more and see what other schools are doing. Unless you know.
We can.
On the 15th of January, we had a very, very big Lego club, and then the same thing this past first Friday of the month or first Thursday of the month, we had 14 kids at Lego Club. So I go to the school right before Lego Club. So I'm getting kids coming to Lego Club because I've been at the school and said, hey, come to Lego Club. So it's been really, you can see it's now working in terms of numbers.
Just in case you use this for other purposes, that first chair, the total number.
Oh, shoot. Yes, I did. Thank you. So that's actually been something that I'm continuing to do, and I did get some hugs from some kids who were like, I saw you at the school, that's why I wanted to come. So it's like, okay, this is great. So I'm going to continue on with the school and going to there once a month, and then also doing
that's for the reading.
Yeah, and then I'm also doing their after school program in March where I'm going to do like a story time for it's a 4 weeks and you do it for after school enrichment and the kids are I think this grade is this year's third through fifth grade. So I'm going to be doing Celtic knots and we'll read stories about, Ireland and things like that. It's March, so why not? So yeah, so our programming has definitely been strong. We've had quite a few really good bingo night. So much fun. Everybody loved it. We had a great time. There were 29 people there, young, old. Everybody was just like enjoying themselves. So we're going to give that another try in March because they asked me if we could do it again. So we're going to do that. Um, Craft Circle is still going very strong as well. A lot of people are enjoying coming to that one. And I need to say that Maria is doing all of this as a volunteer. I've said we should pay you, and she says, no, I just want to be a volunteer for this. So she's putting in 1 day a week, every day, every week to come and do Craft Circle with us, which is incredibly appreciated. And a lot of people love it. And she's coming up with some really fun things to do. So been really happy with that. I did try to get and do more of programs during this past week. During this week because it's winter vacation. I really hoped that I would have more people come to the Stack It Challenge or the cup stacking program. I had a father and a daughter, and me and Elaine. we made stuff too, but it is what it is. I did have like 12 people signed up, and then one by one they all canceled.
So the picture from the.
Yes, that picture on the.
Snapped a lot. That was just-
Yes, they did a lot of stacking. It was a lot of fun. That was her and Dad made the same, things together. I cropped out my stuff, but yeah, but she had a great time knocking everything over. So, that's the fun part of it all. But we also did do story time. There were 15 kids. The fairy tea party, which was yesterday, you can see all my decorations are still up for a little while. We had 24 people here, and so it was 15 kids. It was great. The kids loved it. And Miriam Walther made the cupcakes for us, which were delicious. And she was our fairy because dressing up like a fairy, it's just not in my wheelhouse. So Miriam was our fairy, our magic fairy who came to the library and she gave out fairy dust on everyone's cheeks, and we made fairy lanterns and we read fairy stories and seemed to have a good time. So we might try and do it again in the summer, maybe. But my next tea party, though, I'm not going to do it in March, but we'll do it in April, I think, will be trucks and tea. So get more of the masculine. We had 2 boys at this one, but they weren't dressed up like fairies. Everybody else was dressed up like fairies. But we'll get, maybe we're construction trucks or something fun that we can, kind of make it that way. Circulation is up this month, except for DVDs, which went down, which I was really surprised by, to be honest. Like our children's books went up and the adult books went up, and it was kind of nice to see. And then if you can see on our circulation of physical items, the chart, we are at the highest that we've been since 2023 in terms of physical checkouts. So I'm hoping to continue that trend. And on our same thing, visits to the library in January, March already. We're also up. Not the highest we've been in the past 5 years, but definitely the second highest. So again, we're getting a good turnout, people coming in. We did have 7 new adults and 8 new adults and 1 child got library cards this past month in January, and I was able to send out about 50 letters to people whose library cards expired over the past year. And I know I've gotten 2 responses back so far saying, can we renew? So fingers crossed that will ongoing. I did have one person whose had a parent who got a letter and said parent passed away. So again, good to update our records, but it was sad to hear that, we lost somebody. But, we added a bunch of new materials, or total collections at 18,024 items. We were closed for weather on the 17th and the 26th of January. We were closed on the 19th of, that should be February. Screw that one up. For Martin Luther King Day. One night. All right. I haven't even done yet.
What's your presidents?
We were not.
We are not. Nope. Which is another thing we can talk about. But I don't know if we want to revisit what holidays we're closed on and what we're not, because we don't do President's Day, we don't do Veterans Day, but we do, like Labor Day and Memorial Day and, Juneteenth and a bunch of others. So I don't know if that's something that at some point we want to talk about, just revamping, because it's been, I've never changed anything except for the Juneteenth. Yeah, so there to be talked. So I already told you about the Berlin Elementary. I was not able to go to a DEA meeting this month because of the four-legged addition to my family. Wouldn't allow it, but then also because Alden did his first solo flight that day. So we were watching that. So I wasn't going to a meeting for that one. I have applied for a Stewart's grant. I also applied for the first time for WMHT does early literacy event kits for public libraries. They give 20 away. So fingers crossed we'll get one, because they can bring in a lot of people. I think there's like Sesame Street with Elmo, and it's got a whole kit of a big program, like things for the kids to do and books, and so it looks really great. I'm hoping, like I said, fingers crossed. I did reach out to Megan for the construction stuff. Did reach out to Megan and Chris about changing the scope of the grant to include the roof. We need to get SHPO approval before we can do it. So Megan said she would work on that for us, because that's what she did for the last one. I also received a 1-year warranty, just so everyone knows, and it's out there in the minutes. We did receive a warranty from MR2 for all of the work that was done in the children's room. It's good for a year. I didn't bring it with me. We can if we want to, but I figured because we already 5,000. Yeah, it was the last payment. Total. The last payment to MR2 is $5,082.50, and that amount includes the extra work that we had them do with the pipe in the attic that was leaking. So I don't know if we need to approve that because it's already been approved, or we wanted.
Well, I thought all of those we did the more approval.
Okay.
I think we got all their invoices just so because of.
So if you want, I can go grab it and we can do it later, or.
Yeah, we can do it at the end of some.
Okay. Our electric bill continues to be extremely high, like everybody else's in this area. I know mine tripled this month, my personal one. So this is not a like, how can we conserve energy? This is a nice egg is.
Do we have though the difference between what? Because I know you said what the new heat pumps. Do we have a comparison of usage versus?
I haven't. No, you know what? I didn't.
Or the whatever charges this year.
I can pull that up. If you want.
Based on the budget of 1,500, we've already spent 582. So.
Oh, we've spent more than.
Well, I'm just looking at.
Yeah, it's a lot. But I know it's been talked about all over town because of all the problems that people are having with it. So, and actually what I did do is I did a comparison between how much they were being charged for here and how much I'm being charged personally, because I can see those two bills. And it turns out I'm paying double what the library is paying. So I don't know why that is. So I'm probably going to say to them, why are you charging some of us this amount and some of us that amount? Because there's
a different carrier.
No, because I've never gone and done the EBSCO thing for here, because it just didn't make sense at that point. So yeah, our next March bill is $797.
It's nice.
Do you have any way to see how much energy these solar panels are generating?
Yeah, it comes up on our electric bill every month. They don't produce during this time of year at all. I mean, I think actually pull it up really quick and show you how much. So in this last bill, we produced 6 kilowatt hours of energy from the solar panels. So yeah, that definitely didn't do anything for us. But we usually the bills during spring and summer are we do have a lot of good excess of good energy usage from the solar panels. So, but yeah, I can take a look and see. Once we go into some other stuff, I'll pull up the oldest bills. Actually, let me do that. So in 25.
So we're at 580 and then
Well,
7
we're at
something.
1,300.
Yeah, so we're gonna be over budget
Oh,
immediately.
Wow.
But we had talked last time about how the oil would be much less.
yeah.
Not that much left. I mean,
Not
No.
that much less.
Yeah.
So last year in February, for February's bill, oh wait, this is June. So February to March of last year, we used 663 kilowatt hours. We generated 60. And this year, our current usage is 2,734 kilowatt hours with 6 generated.
So that's huge. I mean, that is an energy
Huge energy.
benefit.
We're
No,
using
we're
more.
using more energy by
We're using more
4
electricity.
times.
Using more electricity.
Yeah.
By
Right.
4 times, or I can't do the math. 4 times as much.
Mhm.
That's a lot.
I know.
Um,
During the solar, we did 6 this year.
60 last year.
Six.
in the month.
In a month.
of
In the month.
February.
But it's still for the month, right?
Mhm.
Snow.
So that's a 90% reduction?
It's because of the snow.
It's because of the-
We didn't have any snow last year, and half of the panels right now are covered in snow. So
And it's been like that all winter. And
Yeah.
it's just been ice everywhere and snow the whole winter.
Just go crazy.
right.
But yeah, I mean, so I am concerned that we did not fully understand and plan for the cost
Plus
of,
the heat.
yeah. Yeah.
The other thing too to look at is that the prices definitely are also quite a bit higher.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, the
I mean,
energy
it's a double whammy,
usage.
but that was,
Yeah, that's
Hmm.
um,
I mean, and you're right to the point whoever said, I think, heating, presumably that will be a savings, but I'm just wondering.
No, it's not gonna
Um,
offset that.
I mean,
So what?
It's not gonna offset that.
Mm-hmm.
I have the temperature set at 72 for them, and that barely is keeping everything warm
Because of the
cold temperatures. They just don't do well
Yeah.
in the really low temperatures. So it's kind of like if I were to lower it, then everyone would really freeze. So
I'm gonna close this door right now.
well, this room's being heated by the oil.
Have time. For when he comes on.
For the oil, we do. The timers for the heat pumps are not so great. And I was told I need to research it some more because I was told that if you do that if you use the timers like every day, all the time, which is what we would do, it actually lowers the lifespan of the heat pump. So the other problem with it is that I can't I have no idea. That's why I said I have to do some research and look that up a little bit. The other problem is that the heat pumps, if I turn them, I figured out that if I could do it so that we can turn them so that it goes to the low temp, so it just keeps it at a steady 50 degrees when we're not open. Hopefully that will stop some of the usage, but I also have to, then everyone has to, I'll have to have every staff, whoever come in, has to turn it on and off when they come and go. Like it's not something that we can just program into the pump. Yeah, you would think that it would be a little bit more tech savvy, but I couldn't figure it out. So maybe I'm reading things wrong. I know that we could have Wi-Fi access to the one in the kids' room, but not to the one in my office or in the old section of the building. It's just like trying to figure it out. So like I said, I'm going to do some more research on the heat pump thing and see what happens. For now, maybe I will just go ahead and put I was told that it makes it less energy efficient and it lowers the lifespan. So my thought is, should I just give it a try for now and see how it goes? And if it lowers the lifespan, we'll have to deal with that late, 10
What
years.
is the lifespan? These are questions we should have answered before. I should have known before, but what's the lifespan of these?
Good question. I don't know. I think the technology is so new that, everyone's going to them, but it's also, we're not, the area that we're in, we didn't expect to have 0 degree
it's
weather.
Extremely.
Yeah.
Weeks on, beyond normal, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah, your office went from very warm when I signed the 2 checks, and I went back in half an hour later, very cold.
That's how my office is. That's why I bring a sweater with me even though I've got a heat pump in my office. It's
really warm, and then it went to like really cold quickly.
Yeah, I know. That's why I've been using the heater again in my office, the small floor heater, because it just doesn't. I'll call John Laporta actually, because he told me that was overkill for that office. And so there's got to be something going on if it's overkill, because I'm still freezing.
Well, no, first one in was very.
Yeah.
Really was.
Why isn't it maintaining?
I mean, because it dropped like a rock. It was amazing. It was like half an hour.
Yeah.
And I know I played a horrible mahjong hand. Still, I didn't think I needed to be punished.
I'll call John again and just.
Yeah, I think like anything else, just getting used to how to use it the most efficiently. I think with the timer sounds a little counter to it, but
I'll ask him. I'll see what he says. So I'm going to call him tomorrow.
But it's sort of unfortunate that it's just I think a real outlier winter, the first winter that we're seeing how it works.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Make you misled into thinking it's a disaster and it's not.
I'm not suggesting no disaster yet, just that perhaps it needs some.
as the treasurer, I was amazed at that.
Okay.
No, it's gonna. That's okay.
Annual feel money.
Well, if we have to adjust the budget, we'll adjust the budget. We'll do that.
Yeah. Should I move on?
You need to remember for next year that in the winter months, we need to schedule activities that involve
Lots of people.
a lot of people and a lot of action. You're sitting quiet in the library. It's gotta be chair yoga. Yeah. Yeah, it's all about it.
Football court in here, oblong, ping pong table. Very on the chair, but they don't move it. Especially if you go to hot yoga, then
Well, then you're just, yeah.
Decided on uses driving the higher circulation, the higher resistance.
I don't usually have insight into that. No, it just.
I would-
You want to get out of the house because it's so.
I think that's part of the.
But also
fire
probably
resistance.
action. I was kind of thinking there would be an uptick in people being interested, and because their friends all said, well, I voted for this and we got it done, so we'll check it out. Because, Word of mouth is, priceless.
I mean, I can't go in and say, like, I can't pull a log and say who's been borrowing books. That's not information I can, like, it's not access we keep because of privacy laws. So it's not like I can go in and say, okay, well, you were borrowing 10 books this month and last month you only borrowed 5, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I'm just hoping a lot of it's word of mouth. I did actually, Jen, I think it was you who asked if we could change our website when it says, how did you find out about our program? Because it was just website. And apparently it's something that is only good, like it has to be good for the entire system. So everybody who's using it would have had to say yes to this, but I asked Judith if we could do it with social media, website, newsletter, something else, or word of mouth. And she's like, I don't know why we didn't do that before. And so she just changed it. So now it's all changed. So I was able to see that some of the programs, most of the people who came to the program, the fairy party found out about it through social media. So maybe that's part of it, is we're continuing to push the social media.
And that's what, every time we do a survey and it's about programs and where they end up in social media.
Yeah. And again, like, circulation could also just be that it's, everyone's cold and we want to get out of the house, come borrow some books and keep on moving. So yeah, I'm just happy that it's up. Yeah. A lot of it is publicity, I'm sure, as well. So yeah, any other questions before I move? Jen and I attended a meeting with Bill Jennings and Michelle. Last name is Randall, right? Yeah. Okay. They are with the Clean Energy Committee for Stephentown, and we're in the beginning stages of starting to figure out how to make a park out of this whole area. So right now we're just talking, but I wanted to just put that in there because we're figuring this part out and going to start this. I'm probably going to do more of this stuff on my own time because I don't have time to take up another project. So, but just so you know that library is working with these guys to try and see if we can't come up with a town park, a playground, something to make it so that this area, because the town now has all of that space over there. So we're hoping to see if there's a way we can build a playground at the very least.
So I guess PJ, the supervisor, asked or I guess the climate committee asked PJ what they've done, heat pumps at the town hall, a couple of projects like that. And so like, what could they help on next? And he's very interested in pursuing this idea. So there are also some grants and funding things available through programs they're aware of from the climate perspective, parks and recreation, different things like that. So that's sort of the fit for that committee. Right. And then because one of the options would be, the one, they felt like the library programming wise and mission wise and everything is a fit, but also the potential for actually our grass space. So right now, like Kim said, it's very preliminary to start with, and they're going to just try to get a little bit of information to get going. And then I think they would want to open this up to be I think we want to see if there's other people who want to be involved in this once we start to see the direction, because it would be great to have people with like young families who are invested in this idea to be participating. But I think one benefit, regardless of how this goes, is one of the first things that they want to try to figure out is who can help us figure out once it's not winter, the drainage situation in the land back here. Is it something that can be addressed? How could it be addressed? Is it a big deal, a little deal, all that kind of stuff, which is good for us to know no matter what, however this goes. So I think that's a positive for us. We're also just trying to get a little research. Kim was going to reach out to some other libraries to find out resources of people who, if any libraries have anything like this on their grounds. Are they familiar? We're going to ask, what's his name, the architect, Paul, about his resources for people who have done these kind of municipal parks and things, just so we can start to gather some information to help with this. But there's the potential that it could be that if our grounds are usable with the drainage situation solved, that there could be I mean, I think Kim and I were pretty clear to begin with that our initial reaction would be that, we're not in a position to take on building a playground or a park and the insurance and the liability and all that. Like that is not a library project at this point. But open to discussions about how that land could be used, what those opportunities are, all of that. So, approaching it cautiously, but wanting to be helpful. I think pretty much everybody in town would like the idea of having something, for kids, for adults, maybe there's even a recreation path, whatever it is. So, and it's something that was very widely supported in the survey that was done. So that's where that stands.
I was thinking of the North.
Yes.
But that's town property.
Yeah, but we're gonna reach out to somebody. I'm gonna try to figure out, just because I know people have said that's really great. Yeah. Yeah, but that's kind of that, like, yeah, it's a municipal whole area.
That's why at first it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a complicated. I mean, that's kind of where we're at this point, so we just have to see if we can get everyone to work together to make it happen, so. Yeah, so very preliminary, but if anyone has any suggestions for people to reach out to in terms of, or anything, just let me know, because,
We're also very interested in participating, like,
yeah, if anyone wants to join us, please do. Moving on, the Upper Hudson has been having a big problem with our Sierra and Discover interfaces. Sierra is what we use in-house. Discover is what's used by patrons. There have been lots of problems. They're trying to work on it. I'm getting emails every day from Joe, who's at Upper Hudson, who deals with all of this stuff. He's probably about to pull his hair out because of all the stuff that's been going on.
This library?
No, it's the system-wide. And it sounds like it's also not just our system, it's Sierra in general. Like last month, they were down for 3 days. It would come back up, and then, it was down and up, up and down, up and down. This time, people have not been able to get into Discover because of some programming thing that if you keep it so that only people from the United States can get into it, then it changed the permissions, and people who had older systems or were on older platforms couldn't then get in. And then if you had to make it so that there's none of that where people from other places can get in, then you have all this spam, and it then makes and people trying to get on, or bots trying to get on, and then it runs the system down, and then you end up with the crashes, and it's just been, yeah. So Jill's working with III to try and figure out how to make this work. So it's been on there. So if anyone complains to you and says, hey, I haven't been able to get on my, just say it's a serious problem that they're trying to fix at the library, and right now, the one thing to do is make sure you're on an updated server or updated platforms. Make sure that everything's as up to date as you can, because that's going to help be able to get into the programs the best. But yeah, it's a discussion right now. Do we say that we limit access to people in the United States, to North America, to these countries and that countries, to, it's just, yeah. So hopefully they'll figure out a way to work around that. So just so you know, in case there's any complaints. And then I did attend a virtual summer reading program about summer reading stuff, which was very informative and just gave some good ideas for summer reading. I have booked a dinosaur show program for summertime in August. It's a bit on the pricey side, but because I have that grant from Rensselaer County, I was happy to say we can do this. They bring actual dinosaur bones, and they have a huge program for kids, so it should be, fingers crossed, it should be great. So for the first time ever, I've got a program ready for summer reading before June. So it's all good. But, yeah, and the pictures below are just, our fairy party and splints and author reads and fire department people coming and enjoying the open house.
It works on parade there.
No. I think that's it.
Any other questions for Kim? All right, we'll move on to fundraising. So annual appeal results.
No record?
Oops. Sorry. Sorry, Richard.
What's wrong with me?
No, definitely the treasurer's report. I don't know why I got ahead of myself there.
All right, give you an update with our good friends at Broadview. I went and met with Matthew there at the Priestville location. And first shot out of the box, he says, well, I think we can fix it because your credit card is set up as an individual card and your other account is a corporate account. But I think I can meld them together and everything will be fine. So go online again, still not there. All right, go back to my good friend Matthew. And he says, the problem is your administrator is still Sarah. Congratulations.
We like thought we solved 2 years ago.
We had taken involved in.
They went in.
I told Matthew that person that was here, you did remove her. I mean, not physically. And he says, well, according to my records, if you go to the website, you still are the administrator. Yeah. And I said, I don't even know if she can log in anymore. You can't. So I said, so the way it can be solved is as follows. We can give them on SML letterhead saying we would like Sarah removed from the account. Give them that. That's fine. Step one. Step two, whoever is going to be the new administrator has to go in person to, give them a blood type or whatever. And
They're firstborn.
Yeah, do that. And Jennifer decided that since we're in the process of a transition on the board, a couple months, that we would wait until the new president is available and do it then. So that's where we're at.
Because God forbid we need to make a change again.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah. And he was as bamboozled as I was that the administrator couldn't access the account. I said, well, we took her off. He says, well, I'm not according, whatever. So
I mean, I could probably go on and pick a new password and be back in. I imagine.
I'm not going to make any promises. It appears that. Well, no, we would rather you not. Nothing personal, but rather you not. But that's where we're at with that. So I did also discuss with him the idea of bill pay. Because it's a corporate account, it's not available. Okay. Not available bill pay. Well, that's okay. And finally, he did say there would be no problem moving things as we currently do amongst accounts online. If we wanted to take special project savings and take the bulk of that money and move it to the money market that's currently paying 2.85 is what we're currently getting. When it was over 100,000, we got more. Probably it was 170 at one point before before we started spending the money. But it makes sense, and we could not set up a separate thing in there to say which one came out of which fund, but I can certainly do it on a ledger system, no problem, saying on this date we moved. And currently you've got 15,000, I think it's in maintenance, 10,000 in painting, and 31,298 in special project. I think it's how to split it on the 56 special project savings. I think that's what the split is. I know it's 25, and it's always the special projects one is always 31, it's always the balance. The other two, I don't know which is 15 and which is 10 off the top of my head.
To go back and look.
Yeah, I can look at old reports and find it because we did used to break it out. But we could take, for example, we could take 50,000 out of that and move it into the money market to get some interest on it, which I didn't see any problem with. I just wanted to let the board know before I did it.
But what are you taking the 50,000?
The special project savings.
I think it makes sense to.
And we can move it right back as needed. It's instantaneous.
I think it makes sense. We might as well get what we can from these things. I do think though that we should in the monthly report have the breakdown
Okay,
so that we're clear. Same with, because say the scholarship account, like we have more money than that in there. That's just what's in that bank account because we didn't move everything back into that account after we moved it into money market.
Right.
So I think we need to just have that each month clear. But I personally would be okay with having it, all in the money market so that we are getting the best we can.
Yeah.
We can.
yeah, I can, hey, I'll zero them out, the accounts are still open. You have to go in person to close them out.
We have to bring Sarah.
No, Sarah is not, no, I have the ability to close that account, but I guess Matthew and I are being very. He wouldn't give me a decent rate on a CD, so I said, wow, CDs are only paying like $2.50 right now. Best he could go. Because I thought about maybe getting a CD for us.
Yeah, so the money market's the
Money market is still better. Sorry?
We didn't get a toaster.
No, I didn't ask for one. He offered me a hair dryer. God, he offered me a hair dryer and I said, I don't think so.
So is everyone in agreement that we kind of move all the money into the market and then just have a breakdown each month?
Yeah.
So that
Yeah, we'll try, I'll try to make sure we keep up with the ledger, so you know exactly which came out of which accounts and run into the money market. So when we move them back, we'll say, okay, fine, we need to put
Right.
$5,000 towards that.
Okay.
Because that special project savings is not 3 separate accounts, it's just one loan. The discovery's broken out. It's not a separate account for it.
Where's our money from the town? February, end of
February, yeah, they usually cut the
Usually
checks
on the
around
20th.
January. 30th.
Very normally.
Ask PJ, I usually have to ask PJ. So where it
We
is.
still collect the tax. So,
I think it was due on the 31st, so we
yeah,
should
normally
be-
it should be.
we should actually.
Should have some money in the file.
Yeah, getting a little low there. More electric bill.
Yeah, well, yeah, and the organizational checking does not reflect $5,000. Yeah, it's not the check. So the organizational checking has $5.
All right. Anything else of note besides the electric bill?
Not really, I mean, I was delighted with the annual appeal results. It was very, very good.
Is it possible that the bill's still correct?
I will,
Mine was for the astronomical, I know
Yeah,
that.
but everyone's is incorrect. Everyone is-
But of course, they also do an annual adjustment. That's always a fun thing. They're, nicely, they'll, give you estimated for a couple of months and then they do an adjustment. So, and adjustments are usually up. And so
they're not
they-
doing that though with these new smart meters.
Smart meters are not.
No, it's just an actual read.
it is an actual read.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the whatever. It's either the delivery or the supply charge. I forget which one. There's like 2 that has gone up like 3 times amount or whatever.
It's the supply, it's the electricity supply charge. That's. But the library is paying, for our supply charge, we've got 0.104 ... Oh no, wait, that's the wrong one. Sorry. That's last year's. That's why it looks so nice. This year we're paying 0.142 for our per kilowatt hours.
40% increase.
And that's just for this.
That's just weird because, the price of natural gas is like, everything is, down.
Well, there was a post on
Mhm.
Steam Toner that showed that it was reflecting the spike that came with the cold weather, and so the natural gas spike happened, and then you see the spike follow it. For what it's worth.
No?
The only good thing is that the library is paying less than what the rest of them, at least I'm paying 0.2, I know for mine personally. So it just skyrocketed. Don't know how they're gonna get their money. We'll see. But I was gonna call them and see if we can't, if there's a way that I can find out whether or not things are correct or not, you know, for both for this one and for, you know, just to see and see what they say. It seems like it's way too much.
They offer a level pay option.
You can do the, you know, where they take
Oh,
the average of your
Yeah.
year and split it up. I mean, it really doesn't matter for the library just because we have the money in there. It's not like it's gonna. I think it's actually better to see how much you're actually spending per month.
Well, I mean, when I got one, you would say actual versus what, you know, your average billing was. I had that in Texas there.
Yeah, no, they definitely do that.
So one other question. So there's no online bill payment option like you have for an individual thing. But what about those like electronic payments that are
So we're already on automatic payment for quite a few things.
Yeah, I think so.
We're on automatic payment for the NICEAG bills. Yeah, exactly. NICEAG, the printer, the garbage. I was just going to say mortgage, but that's not right. There's two others that we're on automatic payment for, Culligan and something else. I'd have to go back. Pest control, they just charge they charge our credit card. So for the other things, like for Ingram, for our book supplies, I could definitely pay that online. There's an online pay option for that one. There's an online pay option for Demco, which I just spent some money out getting supplies for the library. You know, a lot of these I can pay them by a credit card if that's what we want to do. Ingram did get our last check. I didn't have to cancel that one check. So the only problem we've had with checks is going to MR2. Everybody else so far has been okay. So I don't know if you want me to just start. I mean, like we can start paying things that way or not. I don't know.
did we, I forget who was going to follow up, if it was you or Scott, about is there a policy for Upper Hudson?
I was going to, but I haven't looked that up yet.
And
I haven't had a chance.
how boards handle it with half payments and
Yeah, it's on my list to do. I just haven't had a chance to get to that yet.
look like you're going to say something.
Yeah, from a risk standpoint, not that I'm suggesting it be a problem.
No,
Which I am not. Or a risk.
I am.
Is the advantage of, let's say, paper checks creates an additional control from the government and doesn't Trump funds. As an institution, those kinds of controls are useful. Putting aside that we have honest employees and that's not a problem, but
No, I'm happy to give it all to you and you can take a look and make sure that it's all, yeah, I think that that's better to have.
You can do that and say something like that. You can do the automatic payments rather than. I'm just saying that.
Well, at the end of the day,
Or whomever.
at the end of the day, since we do have a big check cutting system that really into it, that does a very good job of it gives you a paper trail. Whereas if you pay online, you have to print out paper trail.
Yeah, the problem is just that
Yeah, I mean, when
the
you pay
checks
out,
that aren't getting there, like that.
we only had the one check, but I mean.
Well, but
services.
and so far we've had three. We had the one that didn't get to MR2 and then the few years before the two that were stolen.
Yeah.
And then the Ingram one.
No, Ingram made it.
Oh, that just took a long time.
It just took a long time. Yeah, it did make it because I just checked our.
So it wasn't a recent.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
annoying. Some of these people that pay by paper check, they're just so unused to it now. It takes 3-4 weeks for them to figure out how to process it, which, you know, in my corporation, the minute $80 hit the door, went to the bank immediately. So it's a little strange to me, but I have had other instances personally that it took 3-4 weeks for it to get through the system.
The issue is not so much the medium, the issue is whether there's a separate person, whether.
Yeah,
one person
I understand.
So I think let's just continue to pursue to see if there's anybody else, how other places handle things like that. If it's something we want to try to handle, because I mean, we are, you know, just keep it going. I mean, for now, we'll stick with what we're doing, but if we can find out more, I think that'd be helpful.
Yeah, it was disappointing that we couldn't pay on from Brock. That was a little bit of a problem. Yeah. They had good ones and bad ones. Right now, I'm running into a lot of bad things. But I always remember how nice they were to us a couple of years ago. Okay, so I'm fiercely loyal to them.
That's good. Good time.
They were really nice to us.
Anything else on treasurer's report? All right, now committee report. So fundraising. So we have annual. Yeah.
Sorry,
So annual appeal results, there's a report. I gave some comparisons from last year to this year. And I added just a couple of other reports from the system. So we actually had two more donations I processed today.
Oh.
Thank you notes for another 150. Another time donor though. So we had so it's 31 first-time donors this time.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, we also had 31 people who gave last year and didn't give this year. So as it evens out, I don't know.
It's still considerably up from 2024.
Yeah, the total, yeah.
Oh,
And we had higher gift amounts.
Yeah.
So the average gift amount was higher, and we had, the highest gift was 3,000 versus 1,500. 1,500 is still awfully big for us. So, so that's good. We for comparison, so the number of contacts we have in the database is like 1,673, and most of those 1,115 have 0 donations. So, we don't necessarily, we added a lot of people to our list. So a couple of years ago is when we decided to get the tax rolls and put in every address in town versus just the donors that we had before. That was how we were managing it before. So we have, potentially, we have increased costs because we're mailing to more people, but each year we are getting new donors. So, but at a certain point, I think probably next year it would make sense to say, okay, we've had these people on the list for 3 years now. They haven't given, maybe we don't mail to them. Maybe we cut back our costs a little for the annual appeal. So just something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of cost. 1,000 mail outs, that's a lot of cost.
Right, yeah. And, even if we wanted to, it might be worth pursuing the people who do donate, not more heavily, but do you know what I mean? Like we could allocate some of those dollars to try to get a better response from people who are more likely to donate than just the people that we are pretty sure that are not. Yeah, yeah. So I think that's something to think about next year. All right. Sorry.
Feeling under now? Next.
Lots of press release, flyers all around town, up in the post office now. An email to former attendees, which I just did, and I got a bunch of bounce back. So I need to see if I can get maybe a list of emails so I can check it, because maybe I typed some of them in wrong. They're very difficult to read.
That's the other parts.
Your bookmarks, the trivia bookmarks, that's a totally cool idea that hopefully you're going to get people interested in lots of social media efforts. So, so far we've got 6 ticket sales.
Was it 5 from
5
Melissa and 1? Yeah.
5 plus 1. 5 checks.
Elaine says she's working on a team.
We're going to make a call on the amount of beer that we need based on ticket sales. So I think by the end of the month, we can decide if we need 1 keg or 2. I got word from Marianne about how much wine we have, and that is on the this Oh, yes. So each keg is 55 pours. We have 3 to 4 packs of cider, so that's 12 pours. With 3 Chardonnays, and I think each bottle is supposed to be 5 per bottle, right? So 15 for that, 15 for the, oh no, the 10 for that, 15 for the rosé, and 15 for the Cabernet. So 40 pours of wine. So, I think unless we get huge numbers of people signing up, which would be a wonderful problem to have, we probably have enough with 1 keg.
Unless the current people are rowdy, which would be good.
We're just gonna get the same kind of keg for both, so if we were to get 2, if we want to be safe, if we don't tap the second one, we can give it back and get our money back, so it's great. One thing I noticed is in this list of items and people's responsibilities, I had never put in soft drink purchases, so I don't know if anybody wants to raise their hand for that.
Wow.
The other thing that I just have a quick question. I thought in order to plan our calendar fundraiser, since we were not so committed necessarily to the ideas that we had, or we weren't sure they were going to work or how they were going to work, I thought we should use the trivia event to ask people who are there and actually show up, whether, which of these they would be interested in, would they come, and that kind of thing. So we could either do that with a little survey that we hand out there, but there's so much going on. I'm kind of inclined to think it's better to do a follow-up survey, ask about the event itself, and then have a list of potential ideas.
Like a small thing. I was gonna say, what if it's just a small thing and there's a few of them on each table and people do it?
Yeah, I can certainly announce it, in breaks between in break.
Oh,
Hashtag. I mean, you don't need the exact number, it's not the committee.
Yeah, we
That-
right, just an
like,
idea, yeah.
You know, it's not
That's
like-
maybe more interactive and easy or
Yeah,
something.
as they,
Yeah.
as they
about what it is, because if we just say like bingo, like how are we making the money with it? Like how much do they have to outlay?
What you can do is you have a questionnaire, like, 4 or 5 events. And then you give me more of a description, I'll say, okay, Dan, we need your help. We would like to have another event. These are the choices, and I'll tell a little bit about each.
Okay,
And then raise your hand kind of thing?
Well, no, just, you have one per table and
Oh.
they can fill it out. I mean, that would be, that to me, that would, just be more interactive.
but that's fine. But in order to do that, I just want to make sure that we
What are we
include as
using?
many ideas that as we can, because we don't want to have like 3 or 4, in which case, we'll just do those. Because that's all we got. So if anybody has ideas about, we had talked about cornhole, we talked about the bake sale thing, and I would have to have a little description of, you actually pay to participate, and I read something about they would auction off the top cake, and like that's another way that you make money, and then people buy stuff, various things. But you don't have to tell me now, but if anybody has any ideas of things that I think we should test in this thing, you can get it over to me, and I'll put a survey together. I wanted to also ask about the event itself, so maybe if we do it toward the end, like what would you like us to do differently? How was it? That kind of thing. Okay. Okay, and then Carly's Valentine's Day fundraiser brought in $877. It's kind of amazing.
Super amazing, yeah. It's just-
And so after fees and giving her money back for all those supplies, which were probably not cheap, it's $648.49. So that's still a really great, what a kind, generous,
Yeah.
delightful human being.
I need to grab that check too to write a thank you letter.
Oh, okay. I was gonna give her, I have thank you cards in my office. I was just gonna write her out a thank you card. But if you want to do a letter, then that would be great.
This needs to go up the attic or wherever.
Okay. What is it?
It's, the taco trays,
No.
Mexican decorations.
Oh,
Well, we can do a taco night at the library sometime. Okay.
think for the man.
I don't need any live. You can put it in both.
Actually, we could do something similar.
Fine.
I think we did tacos and trivia at the for teen night. We did a teen night tacos and trivia. That's what I'm thinking of. And we had fun.
Yeah, I think it's manageable if it's fewer people.
Yeah, this was only like 12 kids.
Tim, would you be interested in coming with me to Roaring Twenties, getting closer to the event and just sort of hashing out like how we're gonna work things and everything? Because we know how this happens, right? Okay. So I'll get, I had to.
We know that.
I'll have my people contact your people. Make it.
I think it's pretty close. What time do we need you to be there for setup and what?
Well, the thing starts at 4. I think she will probably let us in at 2. Yeah. I mean, I'll double check with her, but
Yeah.
I sort of remember that's what we did last night. And I don't know, are we planning to do the cooking there or do the cooking at home and bring stuff and stick it?
I think cooking at home.
Yeah, you need to get it pretty close to temperature because if you put that many things in those ovens, that's what we ran into the last time.
Right.
Put too many in there, it just doesn't work. So I would certainly, as visually heating as you.
Yeah, I'd rather do it at home too. Okay, and then we'll just have to decide once we know how many people are
Keep in
coming.
mind, like, a food safety standpoint, it needs to stay hot, transporting from their home to the place.
Okay,
Right.
But bringing it to temperature, to food safe temperature from cold would take a long time, right? Probably.
Yeah, let's take a look.
so we have to do, we don't know that.
I can get you all that information.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're all pretty close by, right?
Yeah,
So if
we-
everybody sticks it in there, but your soft drink,
I'm
yeah.
not cooking.
Yeah. Stick it in the
I'll keep.
thermal bag.
You're gonna put them on the back porch.
Yeah, right to the-
The shells you're doing.
Is it lasagna? Is that what I agreed to do? What did I agree to do?
So you did dairy free food.
But was it lasagna or I thought it was like pasta, because I don't know.
Whatever you want, yeah.
Okay.
It just.
This just says vegetable lasagna.
Yeah, but I said I would do it gluten-free, but I think it was just again, get gluten-free pasta and do,
It's easy.
yeah, like baked ziti, yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
Are we thinking like 3? I guess it depends on how many people are coming, but you know, those big things.
Yeah.
That's enough, like one of shells, one of lasagna, regular, normal meat. I shouldn't say normal, right?
I would say-
Lasagna.
I have no problem calling it lasagna. She's describing it, no idea what she's talking. Be on the end here. Had nothing in it.
Do they have warmers at the?
I have others.
No, but I mean for serving.
No.
Yeah.
Any
Okay.
dishes or heat left.
So is that gonna be an issue?
You just have to like, the thing is, it's not a very long time.
Yeah,
they
don't have any
Pull it out
again.
and then-
Yeah, those things are, those little sterno trays, those are dangerous, those.
Yeah.
It always falls apart.
So we can, so whatever size, I guess I was getting at, I wasn't sure if we need to fit the chafing
No,
trays with the correct size, so it doesn't matter, whatever size you're.
Yeah, the only thing is I remember I was like, oh, I almost dropped one, and that would be kind of sad.
Well, a lot of times for baking sheet,
Yeah.
that's what we always do, put a baking sheet underneath it because those aluminum ones.
Yeah, they're really bad, so, yeah.
Okay.
I bet your baking sheet.
Oh, good, okay.
So one other thing I was hoping to do, hoping is a strong word, I feel like we should do, but it is also outside of my wheelhouse and comfort zone. I feel like we should probably try to do some video promotion of this. And I was talking to Richard about maybe trying to do like some questions or so. I don't know. Like I'm not video focused. I'm not video native. I don't.
I have a script.
Okay. So, but I feel like that's everything. Social media is video. It's all that. I feel like it would catch people's attention more than just one more post with a million words and a picture and everything else, even though that's what I like to do. So, does anybody else have like, we were going to do trivia questions, a couple trivia questions, like
Yeah.
maybe ask the board or something, but I don't really know how to do it, like, honestly.
I think we should
Really
get
don't.
Sadie's advice on that one. Cause she knows all how to do all
I mean,
that
I would
stuff.
be more than happy if you know, Jay wants me to come here one time and we can do, you know, ask a trivia question, you know, what is, you know, who's buried in Grant's tomb or something like that, you know, and, you know.
Who's buried in Grant's tomb?
Ah. Huh?
Says lasagna. Wait, who's buried?
That's a joke question. If you know the answer to this, please come to our trivia contest. I mean, that would be a fabulous TikTok video. Yeah. Name the only Stephen Count on earth. I mean, trust me, you give me a little rope, I'll go nuts. Okay. And
Funny.
yeah, just fun, make it fun.
Yeah, oh, sorry, all right.
Sorry, I was.
No, I mean, it is, I mean, that is the perfect example of how you can have fun with it. It's exactly. You had this person here, they're like, who's buried in Grant's tomb? And they're thinking, if you don't know the answer to this, come to our trivia contest. I mean, something like that would be a lot of fun. I mean,
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. And
If I had known, I would have started taking video now, like, while
I know, I was-
doing all of, I should have thought.
camera in front of me.
Okay, so we're turning this over to.
I'll ask Sadie if she can.
Yeah, Sadie, and it'd be Saturday, I can do Saturday.
It's ready to go.
She's all set to me.
And I'll even dress up in my MC costume this year.
Okay, I'll text.
It's the black suit. Three-piece
And
black
top
suit.
hat, right?
And sequence.
Well, I'm.
I have no time.
I'm looking for a bright red vest.
That'd be nice.
I'm looking for that.
Put it on that.
Who?
My son. He is a bright red
A
vest.
little skinnier than I. I mean, I'm working on it. Toad, I mean. Well, of course people.
Quite a bit. Look, I'm- see if that's working there.
One last thing about that. Anybody-
Oh, I can do the answer sheet. My name's not on.
Yeah, was the other Scott being the scorekeeper? Not,
Yes, the other side is being this,
not to.
He's the other.
I have to,
Scott.
I have to double check with him, he said he thought he could. And Scott Connors is definitely doing. it.
Yeah, Scott Connors is.
He is the co-host Scott.
Very popular name, Scott.
Yeah, that's right. And everyone's over 75.
Oh, I'm in one committee, there are 4 Cathys.
Sounds like a musical.
So we need to make sure we
The
got
trivia
the
contest.
PDFs.
Korean meeting.
But 60% of the last name is King.
Yeah, so we're gonna make sure that all the slideshows we have PDFs of downloaded onto the computer, and I'll bring like a backup computer now.
I need to take another look at the slide, just, I think there might just be the wrong date or something, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't have 3 5 cards.
And do we have the breakdown of how we're doing the prizes?
Well, you had it here, she said,
I'm just-
250 per round.
Yes.
So
Okay, sorry.
175 for first and 75 for second. I'm assuming that goes to 70.
Oh, I see. Where is it?
Yeah,
Oh, I see it. I see it. Thank
Yeah.
you.
That's what we did last time and nobody.
Okay.
Yeah, we want to make sure also that, also we want to make sure that we have the standing here. That
Yes,
there are
the
a lot of
people
people
wanna-
asking about that.
Wanted glory. Didn't feel they got.
Do we need participation certificates as well?
We'll provide Tupperware for, take home for lasagna, especially that, whatever that lasagna is. No, lasagna.
So can I just print out the?
Yeah, just print out and I'll make the card. I'll make the card. Yeah, I'll make it.
Wait, who?
Because I have another trivia contest on the 19th. And then another one on May 1st, so.
Who's doing salad? Don't we have that on the promotion, the tickets?
Yeah, we do. I was thinking that was you, but that was before they're vegan.
Well, I mean,
Vegan salad.
like that's a quantity thing. Like, where are we buying anything from that place? Yeah,
Um,
like bags and bags of salad. I mean, I don't mind chopping up vegetables and stuff. I'm just not sure how much.
yeah,
If someone tells me something, I will do it, but I just don't know how
says the president of the board.
much.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll see how many people are coming in then. Yeah.
We don't want to chopping. I don't know. I just, yeah, like normal lasagna. What you're. That'd be a good thing. What is lasagna? What is it?
All right, we're getting a little crazy here. Okay.
Oh,
Ken's looking more and more forward to the 9 o'clock.
I
Yes, we get out.
Okay, yeah, but we need to go. I think you have done a great job organizing this. It was great. Certainly sign up for cleanup afterwards.
Great.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Sorry.
All right.
Yeah, I'm on there.
All right,
already.
new business. So we've got 2 related things, annual meeting planning and nominating committee. So we really never usually have a whole nominating committee, but the point mostly being with that is we actually need to have a plan for our slate of officers for the annual meeting this year. So tonight we need to do a couple things. We need to set a date and a time and a plan for the annual meeting. And then we need to say who is somebody who's willing to make sure we have our slate of officers. We, and I think we have to post that by next. John, pull up. So one idea I'm gonna float, is to try to do a little bit of a bigger deal of an annual meeting this year, because ever since COVID, we've kind of just made it pretty small, and there hasn't always been like a lot to talk about. We haven't invited any special guests. We haven't done anything like that. But this year we actually have things to talk about. So we have a lot to talk about actually, between the 414, the grant, the renovation. There's just more to say and celebrate. And I think there could be some things to promote for the coming year with, the grant with summer reading and some of the things that were new programs, things like that. So one thought is to actually try to do this bigger than we've done, like we used to do, where we really make an effort to invite people. Maybe we make this an opportunity to thank people, volunteers, Maria, how many hours she spent on craft, different people who have volunteered. I'm not entirely up on everybody, so we would want to coordinate on that. And then, and promote it more heavily, have some food, things like that. My big idea would be, I think it would be interesting to invite representatives from the Board of Elections to speak about what happened. I know you're looking at me.
That was just simply, maybe mine.
Yeah.
I
The
think,
Board of Election said about transparency at the outset, and then there was word about what happened, and what they did.
well, that to me, that is why we have supporters, we have people in the community, even who are not
Wanna
supporters,
know what?
who are interested to know, and it would be an opportunity for the Board of Elections to be able to provide that transparency and perhaps help people gain back some trust in the process. I think there's something to be said for making the invitation, even if they decline it. And I think we also then have a thought of, do we invite someone like the League of Women Voters who afterwards to then speak about it. I think people might be interested. I think we might get some people to come and attend something like that.
Oh,
And
nice.
and then, we have an opportunity to get them maybe more involved in the library too. So that's the pitch.
I thought about that too, and I think that would be great. I think the likelihood of them saying yes is extremely slim. But if they say no, we could still do the League of Women Voters and have sort of a discussion about the issues in play.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the harm of sending them invite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
Lee? Richard?
Who was that advocacy group? It wasn't the League of Women Voters, it was another group.
Free speech for the people.
Free speech for the people, someone like
Yeah.
that, who might know a little bit more of the inner workings of the machinations, to try to explain to people what the process was and what happened. Maybe give if they have an opinion about maybe what happened, I don't know. We all have theories about the back of the ballot was incorrectly styled or something, but it'd be nice if the Board of Elections would just tell us that. Because I hate the idea of throwing something out there and sorts of trouble with that.
But would we advertise, like, come to the annual meeting, we've invited the Board of Elections, a representative to come, and then people come and we're like, they didn't show up. Is that? I don't know, that feels kind of,
Bait and switch.
yeah, like a little bit weird. And like instigating something.
That's true. That's
Yeah, I mean, I think there's either some planning to do in advance to say before we're announcing anything like that, we make the invitation, we'd get a response from them from now. And then have a backup of like, do we want the League of Women Voters and the other person, see if somebody like that would come. And then that would be the pitch, is we have this person. And then I don't think there's anything wrong with saying during the meeting, we did invite them and they declined. I mean, that's just facts. It's not, but I agree. I think we wouldn't want to act like they're coming and then they don't show up. Yeah, I think that's not good. Yeah, for various reasons. Yeah.
So we just have to invite them early.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's a horrible idea. An annual meeting is your annual business meeting for the institution. That seems more like a election-related public service kind of event, which is fine, but I don't think it's what you want to do for your annual meeting. We were really, really concerned about antagonizing people in connection with taking positions vis-a-vis what the Board of Elections were doing, and we played it pretty straight and quiet. I think this could be perceived by a certain group of the community in a negative way. I don't think you're going to get the cooperation of the Board of Elections. I don't think they're interested in providing information about what happened. They haven't exhibited any interest in doing it. I just think you're sort of commingling things that shouldn't be commingled. As a separate event, I think it's very good. I don't think it's.
do you think, I mean, so, but I heard sort of two concerns there. I mean, wouldn't that same concern be that we are somehow stirring up some trouble, be
I
the
think
same
it's
as
the same issue, but I just don't think it's something that you would ordinarily do at an annual meeting of this kind of organization. It's like as a standalone, if you want to go out there and do that, that's fine. I had less hesitation in causing trouble about this. I think it's good trouble. So
Right.
it's not a question that I think it's a bad idea or I would disagree with that.
But it was, I mean, it is the
Major part
annual
of-
meeting of the year where this crazy thing took place.
Yeah, but the separate, apart from the business of the library and electing its officers and talking about where it is and all of that stuff,
True.
it's something separate apart from that. It's an event which happened. It's not unimportant to our experience. It's not something of interest to the community, or at least some faction of the community. It doesn't seem to be the kind of thing that you would traditionally have at an organization's annual meeting. Do with it as you will. I just think it's how I.
And do you feel the same way if we didn't invite the Board of Ed, but we did have somebody like?
I think it's irrelevant whether you invite the Board of Elections or not.
No, I mean, but if we invited a League of Women Voters just to talk about.
I think you've got the same problem. It's
Okay.
just the nature of the discussion of the event. It doesn't really make a difference in terms of who you're bringing in. The Board of Elections or the League of Women Voters, you can talk about how the process works. Did the Board of Elections handle it properly? What were the causes of it? That's not core to our library. It's related to the effort to get additional funding for the library.
It is something that the community is very interested in.
I understand that, but I'm just saying that that's, as I view it, an annual meeting. I mean, if you think about our past annual meetings over the past, we talked about our budget. We talked about the good things.
To each other.
To each other.
To each other.
Well, actually, that's not always been the case. When we served food and did a big spread, we had much more interest in it.
We also did other things like we gave
All
recognition
related to
yeah.
sort of the library business. That's really what. Yeah.
We really appreciate your support of the library. We'd love to have you come to our annual meeting. I mean, specific,
Right, and I don't think
Invitation.
disparage the annual meeting though, but without something else, I'm not sure that it's.
Not that
really-
interesting.
It's not that interesting. I mean, there's not, it's fine, but it's not necessarily something that people would go, yeah, I want to spend my
Well, we should talk
Sunday.
about the
talking
building
about it."
room, the hiring programs, that volunteers come in, and, I mean, we could do something else that would be a little bit more interesting than we've done in the past.
Right,
Can ask. Why do we want?
get people more involved, you know what I mean, like,
Yeah.
maybe we were able to, because we're gonna need some new
No,
board
yeah,
members.
no, I
We're
know
gonna
that. I
want-
just
Yeah,
think
just
it-
sort of like get people
Yeah,
more interested. We've had an opportunity where people's curiosity about the library, how they operate, has been piqued, with this whole thing they've been in. So maybe this is an opportunity to say, okay, hey, come one. I think, I do think regardless of which way we go, we probably should try to make more hay out of this meeting so that because it's an opportunity. Otherwise, we're just talking to each other. I don't even know why we do it, I mean, I know why we do it, so we have to, but it's not very useful.
It used to be seen as more of a community event before the pandemic, where, we had a big potluck and we set everything up and, had nice sit down where everybody would sit and talk. And so it wasn't just about the meeting itself. It was about like, let's have a potluck dinner together and enjoy each other's company.
And was it
So
actually a potluck? It wasn't something we put on?
now people brought stuff and yeah, it
was nice.
It was really nice. Crock pots lined up all around and, just everyone hanging out and talking after the meeting, which I thought was always a nice thing. And I think that if you put food into anything, most people are going to come. People are going to want to do that. But if we say, hey, this is an annual meeting, but it's also like our community event kind of a thing, I like the idea of making I think in terms of the library, if we were to use, if we were to do something where we asked the Board of Elections and, League of Women Voters to do something like a program, where we had a Q&A or we had them come in, it would be great, but I can't see any of them coming. But it could be a community discussion about voting, like with League of Women Voters, that kind of a
I
thing.
mean, I don't know if this is possible, but could we possibly have some years of scholarship winners come in and talk about what they've done since they went to college and what their experience has been and what doors have opened to them, hopefully, although everybody's saying from college now, you graduate, you can't get a job, save your life. But hopefully that's not the case. Something like that, where in addition to having volunteers, we have scholarship winners who want to talk about the opportunities that it matters if that scholarship alone.
Well, now that it's
I mean, maybe they're not around.
can't hurt to look it up.
I think it's really a sweet idea. If no one comes, that'd be really sad if you get these
What if
people to
it's
show
like-
up and no one shows up.
What if it was like a video slideshow? Like,
That'd be awesome.
"Guys,
I think that's a cute idea.
So, I'm now in,
Yeah, and easier for
Los
them,
Angeles.
yeah. And fun for us.
and to make it like a comp little
Yeah.
video.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like it.
Me too.
What about if we separated the two things?
I think that's what's happening.
Yeah, that's, I was thinking, I don't have a problem doing the program. I
But
just,
we held them close together, like the annual meetings from 2 to 4, and then this discussion about voting is from 4 to 5 or whatever. And actually advertise them as 2 separate events, but just back to back.
I'm not overwhelmed with the idea, but.
Would that get around your concerns though about it being?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it looks like you're trying to avoid it and you're not really avoiding it. That's.
And I think it is an important enough event, and Sarah's right that the community does want to know that it should be done separately from anything else. Should be special. That would be my opinion, because there is that much interest still, and you want to do it, before June or something, because, the elections, big elections are coming up this November. And, you want to give all these organizations a chance to present their cases. That would be my thought. Because, I mean, it is certainly an interest that we should, serve, so to speak.
Yeah.
Since we were impacted quite directly. This whole community was impacted quite directly.
Outraged.
Yeah, I think Scott is absolutely correct at the annual meeting. I think the potluck idea is fabulous. I think that's what, because I went to a couple back in 2018, 2019. There was, I think, 25, 30 people here. It was great.
Little fish.
Now I say.
I'm sorry, that's just.
These gas, I'm sure the gas on or something. It's some problem over here. I got AIDS problems over here.
Yeah, I
No, I pointed over here. I mean, the one who came through, I got one full certificate of thanking me for being a volunteer. But there was a good crowd here. It was nice. It was a good crowd. And that was pre-COVID. And I think trying to get that going again is great.
So I think if we did the volunteer thing, summer reading program thing, if that happened.
I also wondered if we could, if you're doing so much with Berlin Elementary with the library program, like maybe there was something there. We want to, acknowledge that.
If you just invite the school with a choral group, you get their parents.
And that's, yes. I could, yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yes, our food volunteers. We could consider inviting Paul Mays to talk about the renovation. I mean, we
You
didn't
might
invite them
charge
to
us
the, we didn't invite them to the. We didn't get them to come to opening, so maybe something like.
And he's a good speaker. He's engaging.
Okay, so we're thinking,
Just get them to talk about our next project.
yeah, right.
You get somebody from NICEAG to come.
Yeah, right. Then we'll really.
The entire town will be out.
Yeah, right. It's talking about Ron Tomato. So when is the actual date of the?
We have to make that decision, so it has to be in April. So Saturday the 4th is the Easter party, so I would say not that weekend. Perhaps the 12th, are we wanting to do a Sunday?
What if we pair with Easter? Have people already showing up?
Yeah, but.
That's not-
It's a different crowd.
It's a different.
A lot of people come.
He doesn't want to talk about voting, but he wants to talk about. Confused over it. I don't see the, only yes, can't vote, talk about voting, but we talk about Easter. Oh, confused. You'll excuse me.
Who doesn't like Easter?
I'm aware of that, but business of the library, Easter eggs, come on.
I think it'd be surprising. A lot of people up to that. Well, I don't think they'll stay. That's it. I don't think they would stay. Yeah, even then, I think they just want the candy in.
Fair enough. Never mind.
And
Never
it's
mention
a
it.
lot of little.
Better. It'd be way more honest to me. Okay, never mind. Never.
Maybe the 19th.
I can't. Doesn't matter, you can do it all.
26.
26, I think.
People want to look at their calendars. Is it Sunday?
April 26th is
That works for us. Or for me.
And what time do we want to do this for potluck?
I think we should try to do it a little earlier. Like,
It's
What's the matter? Just complaining about it now.
okay. Like, if it's a Sunday, it could be like supper, 3 in the afternoon, 3 to.
3:30.
That sounds more like Sunday dinner.
3 to
3 to 5? Is that enough? Depends on how many. Okay.
So, I think we need 2 things now with the way we're doing this. So we need a nominating committee. Now, per our bylaws, the nominating committee shall be appointed by the president at least 2 months prior to the annual meeting. So I am going to appoint somebody today. Or you can volunteer. Otherwise, I'm just going to start appointing. Basically, we just need to prepare a slate of trustees. So, and that has to be presented, has to be posted 2 weeks prior to the annual meeting. And then we also get nominations from the floor. Somebody else would like to be on the nominating committee with Sarah? Somebody who can twist arms? Alright. Sarah, you're the nominating committee.
Determined voluntold.
I don't think it will be, I don't know. I think
It's fine.
yes. If we're gonna be doing this, then I think we need a couple people to work on planning for this, because we're gonna need to market this now. It's gonna be a bigger promotion effort. We gotta figure out videos and things with scholarship winners. We gotta get our list of volunteers and what we're gonna do with them. What we're gonna, are we gonna give them something, a certificate, whatever that's gonna be. And really bang this out as a nice event, the pop rock and everything else. So who would like to work on that?
I am happy to try and reach out to scholarship winners and get something going from them. I can
How
also,
many years back did we do?
I mean, Marcia Southard is a former
Oh, wow.
winner. So I know we could get her. Sadie's a winner. We go back to 1998. Actually, Marcia was the first one. She and a woman named Rebecca Schaefer were the first.
Was it,
There's a Zima, there's a Eckhart. Oh, Amanda Gallup.
isn't
I know,
there
no, I know Megan. But there's a lot of people on here that,
Daniel Madden and you got Tammy?
Mhm.
Well, do you know who? Well,
what should
nothing. Just look at the
Oh,
list later.
yeah.
So
there's quite a few people.
I mean, if we get a ton of people that are willing to do it and interested in doing it, we could probably cut some of the other stuff out because it could take quite a bit of time. And it's kind of cool and interesting.
So who?
I'll work on that part. I'm happy to do this.
Five, that's not too.
Or like, Mark suggested as a video, that could just be running on the computer out there, and people could just, like if it's on a loop, they can just walk up and.
Oh, true. Yeah, like that.
Yep.
What do people think about inviting Paul Mays to speak about the renovation? And he's a good speaker. He can talk
I
about
like
sort
it.
of the impact of stuff on libraries and stuff.
I can reach out.
And I guess it's premature for him to talk about what he knows about playgrounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about if we're thanking people and we're talking about the room, Scott Bendet again? So where are we on inviting politicians to our meeting?
I loved him. I thought he was so sweet,
Mm-hmm.
so heartfelt.
So,
No problem. Mm-hmm. We can come up with a full list of volunteers and stuff.
politicians, they'll come. They think there are people there, so even if they're just politicians, they can meet each other.
So we've got volunteers who are doing programs like Maria. We've got, maybe we can thank,
He did the summer program.
right, yeah, the summer, the
Volunteers for
summer food, yeah, the events. Maybe Deborah and Ed for their help with the annual appeal letters. Paying her to continue to. What about well, Cheryl does the homeschool program as
part of it.
as a thing.
Yeah.
We
We could
could
invite some of the speakers who've been doing it as,
Can I do it for free?
Yeah.
Okay, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the homeschool thing is a really nice thing to continue to highlight.
there's one man he's come in a couple of times now, Phil, he's the PA, the physician's
Yeah,
assistant
definitely.
who's helped out quite a bit with the kids. He would probably be good to get to come. Okay. You can reach out to some of them.
But in the case of the volunteers, it's like a thank you to them.
Yeah, I guess it something like. You seemed happy with the certificate. You remember it to this day from 1819.
Yeah.
So, do we want
You're not
to,
that old.
do we want to commit to also doing a separate event and pursue that?
All right, so do we have the volunteers that are gonna help promote this? I know Kim is gonna be reaching out to a lot of people. I would be happy to help the organizing of the annual meeting potluck.
I think sending
Lollapalooza, whatever you wanna call it.
I think sending out like an actual invitation to the people who came in and
The affirmation.
the affirmations, I think that's not a bad idea at all. Because
Yeah.
they just might want to come.
Need to include, do we need to RSVP these people or not?
Are we doing it as a problem?
Well, it's
Yeah.
kind of recommended.
Do you have a suggestion?
No. Frankly. So,
I could help write invitations.
Okay. Are we gonna do, think we should do mail invitations?
It's interesting how people actually like getting mail now. I've heard that a few times from people. Like, oh, I got your letter. That happened quite a few times with the annual appeal too. Like, oh, I got your letter. So yeah, so I do.
There's an expense.
You can see how many people are, well, we know how many.
We know how
many.
A lot of those people that are from the same.
Yeah.
So it might be
Right.
half.
Multiple.
Yeah.
Yes, we're on
To
there
send it
too.
to ourselves.
Right.
Some of us,
I wanna-
maybe not.
I want a
I
letter.
shouldn't have to. I shouldn't. I know, I.
Mail.
Send one to-
Not to beat the point. So also, if we are gonna have the expense of mailing to people, if we knew we were going to do another event of the election related one, it'd be nice to just invite them
Include
to
that
both.
in-
Yeah, not do two mailings.
Yeah.
So,
Especially since they're going to be particular.
Right. right. So do we want to try to come up with a plan for that, before we move forward with the annual appeal meeting mailing?
Oh, you mean to put it in both?
Right, so if we're gonna mail the people,
Might as well
make the
have-
most of it, you know.
You're looking to get the mailings out the middle of March.
Well, we've got, it's the end of April for
I
the
would say the beginning of
annual appeal,
April.
so probably the beginning of April would be okay, I think.
Mhm.
And depending on when the date is of the other thing.
Would it be have a yay or nay for people we're inviting?
Right,
Would it be enough to have like a, at the bottom, sort of stay tuned for details about an event, Q and A,
Check the
that
website.
kind of thing? Or would that not do,
I mean,
have the same effect?
I think it wouldn't be quite as good, it would be better than nothing, but, I mean, I think,
Save the date.
right, yeah, here's this other two things coming up, you know, that we think you'd be interested in. I mean, I agree with Scott, I think it is very unlikely that they would attend. But having somebody else and seeing if they would be willing to, I think is worthwhile to try.
And so far, we've not heard a word. Nothing's changed as far as that goes, even after the letters went out. But,
Right. And what was the date? Hold on a second. Yeah, sometime in April, right?
Next meeting in April, right?
It's for what?
That's
For
what
when
they
they
said,
were
yeah.
going to, League of Women Voters was gonna meet with
Wow.
elections. Do we wanna just do this, well, so then we still have a little bit of time, if we want to do a little further discussion offline on this and come up with a plan that we can
You can certainly do
ride
it,
on.
do an email trail, the next board meeting could be too late.
Well, the next board meeting is the 19th, and if we're not gonna have, we're gonna do a mailing at the beginning of April, that still gives time to, it gives a couple of weeks.
But does it give us time to get an answer from them?
I would think we should reach out now to them and see if they'd be willing.
Yeah, so I guess let's get an agreement on that. Do people feel like that is what we want to, that we are okay doing that? Reach out to Board of Elections folks and then also League of Women Voters and or free speech for everybody. People comfortable with that, just to get to see if they would be willing to do something like that.
That's fine. Hypothetically, if none of them were to say they want to come, is this something we would still want to do just as like for the community, or is it?
I don't think we have
Can't
anything to
be
say
in
then, yeah.
actually taking the time to look up the information. And even if we hosted it and it was just us talking about the events that happen, that would be at least spreading some information.
I think people want answers though.
Yeah,
And if
I
we
think
don't have
that would be-
answers, I think it's could just end up becoming a big negative festival of, just spewing. Yeah, I was trying not to, I was trying to come up with a different way to say it, but that's kind of what I'm afraid that it would become.
Potentially, I mean, we certainly wouldn't want to frame it that,
No.
but
No. I didn't say that.
Bars, with the baseball bat. I mean, even just an informational presentation, back to the whole black law.
yeah,
Did, process what Scott and Jennifer were able to do, just to give them, a summary of what happened and just to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Is that
Yeah.
something you think that would be worthwhile?
exactly. Keep it factual,
Mhm.
keep it level. And the community can do with that what the community wishes. Like it's not the library's job to manage the community.
No, but we'll be managing the discussion. If there's nobody else here, if it's just us, we're going to be the ones to managing the discussion and,
But if we're,
So-
that's right, if we're just giving them nothing but pure information of
Exactly.
a timeline of what happened and how we responded and what came
Now,
back.
that seems to me something that's better done in writing.
We've already done
Clearly.
that.
that's on our website.
That's
I
on
mean,
our
it's-
website.
I think that the people who, I've only had one person come to the library and say, I wanted to find out more information about what happened with after all of that stuff was taken care of. And I just pointed them straight to the website and I just printed out everything that was already done. The problem is if we have all these people here and they're like, okay, so we did this, this, and this. That's it. We're not going to say anything else. That's not. And that becomes it becomes people want more. Everyone wants answers and we have no answers. So if we're going to have a group of people to get together, we have to have at least something to say that's more than what's been said already.
I do have the production that the Board of Elections gave the advocacy group. I haven't looked at it, but I've got a copy of it.
What is it?
What does it say?
Well, most
I
of
said I
it,
haven't looked at it.
most of it was just like attachment things that the attachments weren't there, and that was the thing that looked like it was going to be.
I mean, did you go through the materials? I didn't.
I mean, there was only a few things, right? The ones, I mean, what I had seen.
I literally did not open it.
Yeah. I mean, when I opened it, there was just emails that referenced attachments that seemed like the need of the matter
That weren't
that
there.
weren't there. So I don't know.
I mean, based on what little I did when I was speaking to Susan, I think. So I didn't get the sense that they actually produced all the responsive documents.
Right, yeah.
I would prefer the recount, but I'm sorry.
I was just say April 2nd is when the League of Women Voters is scheduled to meet with the Board of Elections. So just as an FYI of the date, of the time frame.
So, if we got in touch with both them and the Board of Elections and said we'd like a debrief on what took place in that meeting, and
If the League of Women Voters would be willing to talk about their experience and what, if the Board of Elections says, no, we're not
we
coming,
can still.
we can still go ahead with a program and say, League of Women Voters is going to come and talk to us about,
They said yes, they said no.
give some information. And then we can, at the same time, just give a brief, like, this is what we did and here's what.
I think at this point, I feel like if we don't have outside speakers, I understand why I think it can still be valuable. I just don't think we're going to bring a lot of value, and I'm not sure it's going to be.
It's an opportunity for bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think if we can bring someone who can speak about it, I think that is.
Elucidate.
But I'm sure that they'll need the women to get an answer from the Board of Elections.
I agree. We could have an outside speaker show up and they could just be as devoid of answers as we are.
Well, I think they'll know after April 2nd, so we'll invite them before, so that they know that we have this request of them when they go in there. If they come out with their hands as we have, then then we won't do it.
Or if they come, if they're still willing to come and they say, we still don't have answers, that's still coming from them, not us, and it's still sort of informative. if
I
they're
don't think we should
answering.
rush it, but this meeting sounds more dangerous than, beneficial.
It depends on whether we get answers or not.
Well, that's the thing, and something I don't want us to rush into. I mean, if we have a timeline with we've taken the annual meeting and we're trying to ease that up, maybe we should concentrate our efforts on making sure that's a success. And then with this other meeting, if we can get more answers or whatnot, put that after it. I think we're kind of rushing into it by the sound.
There are a couple. I'm sorry, James.
I mean, this is what it sounds like to me, is like, everybody is bringing up excellent points. But I think if we're saying we have a timeline, we have to have this decision out because the mailing is going out 5 weeks, that we might be asking for trouble.
Well, by then we'll know though.
And we'll know that they've met. We'll know if people are gonna come. But if they come and they have no answers, what good does
Well,
it do?
they had answers in the sense of they know what happened. They know
Okay.
why they got the results they have. I don't, based upon what little I heard during this, and it's sort of like, there's an explanation. They got an explanation from the vendor.
Okay,
It had to do with the ballots. It had to do with the way the machines ran it.
okay.
That's one issue. It's not a particularly satisfactory issue. It's sort of like, there was a technical problem. There was a miscount. That's, and well, there are three different buckets. There are probably more, but just off the hand, it's sort of like, what happened? Then the other question is, what were you doing prior to this time in connection with your controls? And what did you do to make sure that the integrity of the election was maintained through the controls you adopted? The Board of Elections might share with you their protocols and their testing protocols. They might share with you what their protocols did and didn't do in connection with the particular problem they had. They might be able to tell you, given what our experience was, we've made these changes to the protocols. There's a separate issue. There's lots of issues, actually, when you break it down. How do they respond to the issue which was raised? Do they respond to it appropriately? What lessons do they learn, if any, in connection with managing that? What are they going to do in the event that other similar situations occur? Do they establish procedures in connection with requesting recounts? Are they taking a look at that? They can talk about the canvas. There are 2 canvases involved in an election. There's a canvas where the votes are tabulated at the machine level. The receipts from the machines or the tally sheets are done. There's a canvas at that point, and that there's a subsequent canvas where they're taking a look if there are any discrepancies. That's a whole interesting process in my taking a look at what the state law provides. It wasn't clear to me whether that canvas would have picked up the errors, so that's sort of interesting too. Is there a change? So, I mean, there are lots of different interesting issues. Some are the mechanics of the election. Some are how you manage the issue. How did you research the stuff? How did you find out what the problem was? What was your PR like or your public information in connection with you had these problems? Do you deal with the press differently than you did before? You're not going to get, based upon my experience, you're not going to get a candid discussion from certainly the government with respect to that stuff.
What are you thinking? We would get that from legal women?
They're not going to get that information. I mean, my sense is that they're not going to get that kind of information to the legal women voters. They may very well share what the problems were and what they've done to correct them, and and how they plan in the future to address this stuff.
Your hard stop is
Yeah.
the final.
So I think we have a little time on this because I think the April 2nd date was also because they're both still out on medical leave issues. So let's table this for the moment. we'll start on our annual appeal planning. We will talk about potentially different ways to approach this and kind of come up with a proposal that we can talk about in the next meeting. Because I think that still gives us enough time at this point to pursue it.
I mean, I could be wrong about all this stuff. I don't know. But it's more like, I don't know, but just my sense, like it's hard to sort of get all the information. There are lots of different interesting issues.
Right, and we might want to think about how we propose it, even maybe there even actually a possibility that they would be more open to something if we have a particular way to. So let's maybe chat about that some longer. Okay, so what we did not get to was follow up on PUPLA and electronic spending. I know we were going to be trying to track that and see how we were doing. Maybe we can focus on that next time if there's nothing pressing on that. And then same thing with maintenance. It will be getting to be springtime. I think we need to come up with a plan for what needs to be addressed this year. Anything that is concerning around, particularly around, I think longer term planning for the painting is going to need to be done. And then also we've got issues around rotting wood, and we need to think about that. So let's talk about that next time and see if we can have some folks who maybe want to take a lead on that. Which leads into the next thing, which is committees. You know, again, I guess we can kind of defer a little of this until we have our April meeting, but how do we want to work moving forward in the new year? And you know, are there any new board members we have in the pipeline? Marty Schmelkin, I did follow up with him. He was going to be traveling and such, so I haven't heard back from him after that. But
Was he actually considering?
I don't know. He was interested in talking, but you know, talking about that, and and if we are going to be honoring our volunteers, maybe that's a good opportunity for us to sort of get a volunteer group off the ground, a formal way of getting some more folks. I know you've got some luck with some teenagers recently, so let's talk about it.
I make a motion to.
Solicited motion.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor? Great, thanks everybody.